Across the Swiftyverse today, this email that Taylor Swift's dad sent Dan Dimetrow is totally viral. And I did not know Taylor's fans did not like her dad this much, but I want you to not like Dan either. This email was sent May 5th, 2005, and it mentions Britney multiple times, as well as some money-related issues with her main long-term manager, Larry Rudolph. I'm not here to make you like Scott Swift, okay? I'm here to try to cross-pollinate the fandoms so that we can help foster a more fair and healthy music industry ecosystem. This can occur when fandoms unite and understand the background shenanigans that goes on with their favorite artists. This part of the email, Scott Swift writes to Dan, "Just remember, when you were funding SOL, you were sending me bills from Larry's mother for $118 in Federal Express bills. Go figure, some things just make you go, ah, smiley face. That went over like a pregnant pole vaulter, but I bit my tongue. Andrea, Taylor's mom, told me I was an idiot for bringing it up to her, so I shut up." So as much as people dislike Scott Swift, he's clearly kind of hinting that Larry Rudolph may be shady. In this post from November this year, Britney talks about how she met Taylor and how she's so impressed with her career. She said, "My good friend at the time was the assistant to my manager who was trying to become a manager himself." So that would be Dan being the assistant to Larry Rudolph, and that's how they met. And then Taylor performed at Britney's camp, yada da. I'm telling y'all, Britney posted this photo recently, and my feeling is that Britney and Taylor are both in their reputation era. Taylor was just Person of the Year in Time magazine, and Sam Lansky wrote the article. And where do we know him from? Sam Lansky was Britney's ghostwriter. Do I think that Taylor would have a very rare in-depth interview done with a writer who is just an entertainment industry plant or operative or whatever? No, I do not. So I hope that gives Britney's fans who think she's still not free some assurance that she's safer than you might assume. Now, do I think Britney's book is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? No. And I don't legally think it can be the whole truth at this point, since there is so much publicly unknown, and public pressure could only force the hand of the criminal justice system if people actually knew facts, which have been very discouraged. Okay? But let's say too, I think Taylor's contract, whatever she signed, she has not spoken one ill word with Ticketmaster in the sentence by name for over a year. So that hints at something that even a billionaire, we have to wonder what's going on with Beyonce and her 360 with Live Nation, does not speak out, okay? In Dan's 2007 lawsuit, he says that he worked almost exclusively with Britney Spears at the time he met Taylor in 2003. Dan worked for Larry Rudolph's Reindeer Entertainment. Larry has said that he was Taylor Swift's attorney at some point. I don't know what kind of legal advice he was giving Taylor, but Scott got rid of Dan on July 12th, 2005. And however you feel about Scott, this was a good move. A few weeks before Scott fired Dan, Dan incorporated D-Man Entertainment in California on April 22nd, 2005. Just a few days earlier, Kevin Federline, Britney's ex-husband and father of her children, incorporated K-Fed Productions in California. It would later be called Gooseneck Productions. It's not really a coincidence since when Dan became Kevin Federline's manager, and here he is listed on Kevin's first and only album that was released in October 2006. Britney wrote about in her memoir how she was pregnant with a young child, and her husband, Kevin, at the time would not see her. In this excerpt, she writes about how she flew to New York to see him. His manager, who had been on my team for years, wouldn't see me either. He was on Kevin's team now, and it seemed they were done with me. Britney wrote about how she flew to Vegas to see Kevin and he was having his first music video shoot. And even her long-term security that was with Kevin wouldn't let her see him, and she had to watch through a tiny window. This photo is from Getty Images for the after party of Kevin Federline's video shoot. On this whole photo album, there are no pictures of Kevin and Britney together. So I believe her side of the story. And now I want you to question, why would long-term members of her team, and Dan isn't the only one, but we can write another book about that another day, why would they isolate her so bad so that she felt completely alone and alienated from both her long-term professional relationship and her current husband? It's all about power control. Shortly thereafter, Britney texted Kevin for a divorce, and who can blame her? This is a photo from Kevin's album release party. This is Dan, and this is Kevin Diddy Federline. And I can't believe, like, honestly, that's what it says on Getty Images. So when you think about the conservatorship and the machinations and the power players and the level of collusion it required, when did it really start? Because this is a key turning point. So think whatever you want about Scott Swift, but Dan's bad guy.